Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia and today I have a fun video for you guys. We are now at the end of June. This video is going to be tier ranking everything I've read so far this year. And it's actually been a very successful reading year for me so far. I've read 46 books, which is far above and beyond the amount I've read in the first 6 months of any other year. And I'm not specifically trying to read a lot of books this year, it's just that I'm living alone at the moment, so it's kind of one of my main hobbies, main things I do, and so it's just kind of happened that way. But that means we have a lot of books to get through in this video, so I've got myself my tier list right here. I'm actually just going to quickly shout out the tier list maker I am using. It is called OpenTierBoy. It's an open source tier ranker, and I'm using this one because the one that you see like everybody else use, what's it called? Just like tiermaker.com. The amount of ads are ridiculous. There was no way I was going to get like a good clean screen recording. So just wanted to put that out there. If you're looking for a tier maker, consider using this open source one. So I'm going to go ahead and we will get started, I guess. Okay, so I have decided, since it is summer, that the tiers are going to be labeled after ice cream flavors. So at the bottom, we have licorice. I feel like there's enough said there. Who actually likes licorice ice cream? I feel like licorice is an old people flavor. If you like licorice, I'm sorry. Next we have cotton candy. I don't like any of those like candy sweet flavors, so like superhero, super kid, whatever you want to call it, cotton candy, all those kind of flavors, I don't like them. So, but I don't hate them. Like, I would probably choose not to eat ice cream before I ate them, but I wouldn't be as violently opposed to them as licorice. Then we have French vanilla. It's better than regular vanilla. I would happily eat a bowl of French vanilla, but like, it doesn't stand out to me. It doesn't make me want a second bowl. I'd rather have it with something else. I don't know if that's relevant to books, but. Then we have chocolate chip cookie dough. It appears I left out the H. There we go. This is one of my favorite flavors, was probably my favorite flavor as a kid. That's also not relevant to the books, but it's a very good flavor. I really enjoy it. I would have a second scoop. And then top tier we have Moose Tracks. This flavor is like chocolate caramel kind of swirl with like a vanilla base and usually like some little like mix-ins that have a caramel inside. Specifically the one made by Kawartha Lakes. If you're not in Canada, you probably don't have Kawartha Lakes, but it is an incredibly good creamery. And so that is the top tier. Maybe I'll add in Kawartha Lakes. Oopsie. With that out of the way, you know how the tiers work. I don't have to explain it to you too much. We'll just go ahead and get started. So the books are not in a specific order in here. They're just in whatever order they got put in when I dragged them in. But we're just going to go with this order. It's fine. First of all, we have The Hobbit by, of course, J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm just going to go with it and... that was weird. I put that in Moose Tracks. I feel like I don't need to say too much about that. I don't know why it's showing the file names. I don't know if there's a way to hide that. Then we have All About Love by Bell Hooks. And I know this was pretty popular and widely loved. However, I just didn't really resonate with most of what she was saying. It got kind of into the God sort of talk, and it just like wasn't holding my attention, so I kind of feel like I forgot a lot of what she said. I remember there were some points at the beginning that I did kind of appreciate, like talking about how love isn't just like a thing that you fall into, it's like something you work for, and that is something that I have recalled and thought about. So I think I'm probably going to put it in cotton candy and not in licorice. Alright, next we have Deadhouse Gates by Steven Erikson. This is book 2 in Malazan. I read it pretty recently. I think it's probably chocolate chip cookie dough. I really enjoyed it, but I have like a few, like I wouldn't say it stands out to me enough to be Moose Tracks. Then we have Mistborn. This is the first book in the original Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, of course, you all know this. And I think I would probably put this in Moose Tracks, honestly. It was a really good time, that series. I read them one after the other very bingeable, very much would recommend. Then we have Well of Ascension, book 2 in Mistborn. This one, I don't think quite rates the Moose Tracks rating, but I do think I'll put it at the top of chocolate chip cookie dough. I should have chosen a shorter flavor name. It's good, but it is a little bit middle book syndrome where kind of you spend a lot of it not doing all that much. And since we're on Mistborn, I might try to find the final one. Alright, Hero of Ages. I actually really enjoyed the way he ended this. There were a couple points where I was like, ugh, but then I think he resolved those. So I think I'm gonna put it in Moose Tracks for now at the bottom, and we will consider whether or not I want to change that later. Next up is The Riddlemaster of Head by Patricia A. McKillip. Sorry, I'm trying to read the name off of the tiny little book cover. This was just something I read because it was available at the library when I had nothing else to read. It was fine. It's a classic fantasy. I don't have a lot to say about it. I think it's French vanilla. You know, you won't specifically dislike reading it, but it doesn't stand out in any strong way. Then we have Over the Edge of the World. This is a nonfiction. Usually I don't include nonfictions in this, but I'm doing it this time. And it's about Magellan's adventure quest to find the Strait that we now know as the Strait of Magellan. And I did quite enjoy this one, but I felt like it went on for a bit too long at the end. And it's not something I ever really think about, and it wasn't like quite as compelling as other like seafaring adventure type things I've read, so I'm gonna put it at the top of French vanilla. Then we have King's Dragon by Kate Elliott. Like Riddlemaster, this one also has very kind of like classic fantasy vibes. The world building is very much medieval, kind of Europe inspired, and currently my taste, while I do like it, I want something more unique and interesting for the most part. I think I'm gonna put it at the top of French vanilla. It's still probably like worth a read if you're looking for something to scratch that classic fantasy itch. Alright, then we have The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. This is another nonfiction about Henrietta Lacks, the woman behind the Gila cell. I'm not going to explain that concept right now, but it was a very well told and a much more emotionally moving book than I was expecting it to be. I don't know if it should go at the top of Cookie Dough or at the bottom of Moose Tracks. I'm going to put it at the top of Cookie Dough for now, but it could get bumped up if I think about it later. Caliban's War is just book 2 of The Expanse. Another quite good one, but, you know, I feel like The Expanse books, most of them are like good, but not like, okay, I've only read 2, so I won't speak on the whole series. But so far, it's very much like a fun, but not outstanding. I think I'm going to put it at the bottom of Chocolate Chip Cookie Dough. Alright, then we have Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie. This is the first book in the Imperial I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to say that, trilogy. I really enjoyed this first book. I'm going to say I would put it above Caliban's War in Chocolate Chip Cookie Dough. Then we had Ancillary Sword, book 2 in that series, and we did like nothing in this series. We were totally removed from the main, or not the series, this book. We were totally removed from like the main conflict, and it was another book, middle series book where like nothing happened. And I think I would put it under King's Dragon. You know what, I might as well finish out that series while we're talking about that one again. I also read the last one, Ancillary Mercy, and oopsie, sorry, that's not actually going there. And this, did not feel like it was the last book in a series. I finished it and I was like, okay, when does the next one come out? And that was the conclusion. And it was a very weak conclusion. We ended up, it didn't really fulfill on the promise of the first book, the second 2 books. And I was very kind of disappointed and felt left hanging at the end. So I'm actually gonna put this at the top of, I feel like as a book, I enjoyed the plot more than Ancillary Mercy or Ancillary Sword. But because I felt so disappointed at the end and like unsatisfied with how the series ended, I think it does deserve to be below Ancillary Sword, even though I think okay, I'm actually going to put Ancillary Sword in Cotton Candy. And you know what, I'll leave Ancillary Mercy at the top of Cotton Candy for now. I just really enjoyed the premise of ancillary justice, and so when it like wasn't really fulfilled, it was disappointing. Then we have Navigator's Children by Tad Williams, the final book in Last King of Austin Ard. This one, I think, is definitely a chocolate chip cookie dough kind of thing. I really did appreciate the way he wrapped everything up, but it wasn't quite, you know? I think I'm gonna put it at the top of chocolate chip cookie dough. Then I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and it was definitely a very fun book. I really enjoyed it. I think I read it in like one day, and I feel like it deserves to be at the bottom of chocolate chip cookie dough. It's not like, I don't have anything specifically against it. It was a really fun time, but I don't see myself going out of my way to continue the series, so it definitely does not deserve to be in those tracks, but I feel like it deserves to be above French Vanilla. Next up, All Systems Red. This is the first book in the Murderbot series, and I really enjoyed this one. It really kicked off a Murderbot obsession for me. Do I think it blurred above Mistborn? Ooh, definitely going in Moose Tracks. I think I am gonna put it above Mistborn, but it might be recency bias. It's very hard to untangle yourself from that, so not much I can do about that. All right, then we have Rogue Protocol, also from the Murderbot world. I think this is the third one. So actually, maybe I'll do Artificial Condition next. That is the second one. I think Artificial Condition deserves to go in chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm gonna put it below Well of Ascension. And then we will do the next Murderbot book. Okay, Rogue Protocol. I'm gonna put this one, I think, above Well of Ascension, but below Henrietta Lacks. And then Exit Strategy, I'm pretty sure that is the next one, I think. Well, let me just check, I'm pretty sure it is. Exit Strategy, I'm gonna put, I think, towards the top of chocolate chip cookie dough. And I actually think I might push Rogue Protocol. No, I'll leave it where it is. Then we have Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. This is the first book in the Sun Eater series. It's like a space opera. I think I would probably put this one at the bottom, maybe above Hero of Ages in Moose Tracks. Very much enjoy. You should definitely check this series out if you haven't. Then we had The Traveling Cat Chronicles. I very much enjoyed this at the time. It got kind of a lot more emotion out of me than I thought it was going to, but I don't ever think about it. So I'm gonna put it in chocolate chip cookie dough. Again, I know. Above Cruel Prince. No, not there. Come on. How do I? Okay, like this, I guess. No, I want it to be above Cruel Prince. Oh no. Okay, we are experiencing some small, okay, there we go. Now that I figure out how to use that. Then we have Howling Dark, which is book 2 of the Sun Eater series. This one, I think, not quite as good as the first one, still really good. I believe it deserves to go somewhere in this section of cookie dough. I'm gonna put it just below Ancillary Justice, I think, actually. And then we also have the third one next in row. And this one was, I think, definitely a bump up from Howling Dark. Somewhere, I think, in the top of cookie dough. I don't know if it deserves to be in Moose Tracks, though. But I think maybe just below Exit Strategy. Although I could be convinced that just above. I don't know. Okay, then we have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This was another very interesting one. It's like a magical realism type thing. I did really enjoy this, but it is again not one I ever think about, and I feel like I would rate it less highly than a lot of people who I've seen online. I think I'm gonna put it like, okay, it gets a little glitchy when I'm trying to put stuff in the bottom row here. So, I think I would put it just above Cat Chronicles, maybe above Caliban's War as well. Yeah. Okay, now everything is out of order. Okay, next up we have The Conductors by Nicole Glover. This is one I read on recommendation from somebody online, and there were things I enjoyed about it, but it wasn't specifically really to my taste. I think I'll put it in French vanilla, just below King's Dragon. I do think a lot of people would enjoy this. It just wasn't my particular favorite. Okay, then we have The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nhi Vo. This is part of her like Singing Hills cycle. It didn't quite hit for me the same as Tiger. I think I would probably put it, I think it does deserve to be in Cogito, but it's so annoying to fix these every time. That's the problem with this one, I guess, specifically. It's very hard to put them on the second row. Maybe just below Caliban's War, perhaps? Next we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the Hunger Games prequel about President Snow. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the original Hunger Games, but I do think it deserves to go somewhere in Cogito. Maybe, I think I will put it above Salt and Fortune, so let me just, yeah, I think that probably looks right. Then we have Network Effect. This is another Murderbot book. This is the kind of slightly longer one that's a bit of like a murder mystery, and I really had a good time with this. It was one of the, don't know what that was, one of my favorites actually. I think I would put it, I think I did like it more than Exit Strategy. Ooh, that's a hard one. I think I'm gonna put it above Exit Strategy. And then it is Fugitive Telemetry, which I also liked a lot. I think I might even put it above Navigator's Children. That one was really enjoyable. Murderbot is like, with his old crew, it's kind of hard to talk about these without spoiling them, but you just know if you're reading them and you're getting to these like last three, I really enjoyed those three. Then we have Dawnshard by Brandon Sanderson. It was fine. I think it was like decent, but I feel like it's a French vanilla kind of book. Like, I don't feel that I would be missing all that much if I hadn't read it. It just kind of tells you how the one character got the whatever thing she has, Dawnshard, the Dawnshard, as it is named. Okay, then we have Empire the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, and this is an interesting one. I did really enjoy reading this. However, there were things I didn't love about it, like in his style of writing specifically. And so, where to put this? I think it does deserve to go in Cogito above these two other things. Yeah, sure. Then we have, okay, these two are backwards. I'm gonna go with Dungeon Crawler Carl first, and then we'll do Doomsday Scenario. So at the beginning, I was not sure that Carl was going to be for me. I didn't particularly love the way he handled some things. However, as we started to get more into like the characterization and I guess dungeon, I found myself enjoying it a lot more, and I was very much craving the second one immediately after the first one. So I'm going to put Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think I would say it deserves to go above Well of Ascension. Above Rogue Protocol? Ooh. I'm gonna put it just below for now. And then I read the second one quite recently. Very much enjoyed it. Did I enjoy it more than the first one? It didn't have that part in the beginning that I disliked, but I don't know if I felt as motivated to immediately read the next one as I did with the first one, although I have to admit that I found the third one on Book Outlet, which is kind of like a place where you can get books really discounted. They're either overprint or they have slight like damages that are usually like relatively cosmetic. So that one I have already ordered it, which I'm very excited for. But I think I'm gonna put it right below the first one. That feels right. And then I read Trust by Hernan Diaz. This is another nonfiction. It's about like, it's kind of hard to describe. I was very confused for like a while, but I was enjoying it. Yeah, it's very hard to put these nonfiction on here with all this fantasy and sci-fi. It's a little hard to rank them. I think Gila I would put above it. But where would I put this overall? I think I'm going to put it like sort of in the middle-ish. No, please let me put it somewhere else. Okay, I think I might have messed up my order a little bit trying to get that to sit in the middle there, because it doesn't quite work when you try to put stuff in the center row. Then I have Run Towards the Danger by Sarah Polley. This is also, oh my god, please. Also nonfiction. It's more of like a memoir type of thing. I really had a good time with this one, more than honestly, I didn't really know what to expect going into it. She's like an actress, or was a child actress, and yeah, her story I think was very moving, and I don't know where exactly to put it, really. I think it deserves to go somewhere in the, I kind of feel like maybe it should go above or like right next to Trust. So let me just sort this out. Then we have I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. If you haven't listened to this already, like, then you probably should. Also a biography, also a child actress. But I think this one I will put at the, it's gonna go in Moose Tracks. I'm gonna put it above Hero of Ages, but below Empire of Silence. Then we have Into the Riverlands by Nie Lo. This is again part of the Singing Hills cycle. This one, I feel like I'm gonna put it at the top of French Vanilla. Just didn't hit as hard for me. I'm hoping that the fourth one, which is the next one that I'm going to read, hits a little bit harder. Okay, then we have Assyria, the Rise and Fall of the World's First Empire, or something like that. I can't read the subtitle because it's too small. This is about, what a surprise, the Assyrian Empire, which is sometimes considered to be the world's first empire. That was really self-explanatory. This was very enjoyable, but the problem with some of these historical books that summarize like an entire empire is it's very hard to keep track of who is who and what the time is and what is happening. So while I did very much enjoy it, I think I enjoyed Trust and Run Towards the Danger more. But I think I'm gonna put it at the top of French Vanilla. It's still definitely something I recommend if you're interested in history and stuff. But it's not told in an extremely compelling way. It is told definitely more kind of a factual way, which is hard to avoid, but it just kind of is what it is. Then we have How to Survive History. This was like a really short nonfiction. Ooh, I'm stuck. And it is what it sounds like, a bunch of smaller little chapters about how to survive specific points in history, and it was a really interesting and unique way to talk about history. Very fun. I think it deserves to go in Moose Tracks or near the top of Coquito. Yeah, it's so hard to think about where it would go in relation to all these other fiction books. It's like you can't really compare them. But I think I'm just gonna put it right above Gila, Henrietta Lacks. Sir Hereward and Master Fitz by Garth Nix. This is like a collection of short stories about this like guy who kills godlets and his sidekick who is a sentient puppet. Very fun. Definitely recommend this if you're looking for like a little collection. I'm gonna put it in Coquito. I'm actually gonna put it, I think, just above Salt and Fortune, which like I never really would have thought I would put a short story collection up there. But I don't know, I really enjoyed it and I kind of found myself wanting more of that world after I was done. It has a little bit of like Geralt of Rivia, just like The Witcher kind of vibes, where it's like not all of the books, but like the Last Wish, where it's kind of like Monster of the Week a little bit, that kind of vibe, which I very much enjoyed. Then we have System Collapse by Martha Wells. This is the most recent Murderbot entry, and this was a banger. I think it deserves to go in Moose Tracks. I honestly feel like I'm gonna put it, I think I liked it more than All Systems Red, honestly. I really enjoyed this one. And also, this might be controversial, but I think I'm going to move The Hobbit. I don't know where I want to put The Hobbit. It's so hard to compare something like that. But I think I'm going to put it there. Nobody get mad at me, okay? Then we have A City on Mars. This is what it sounds like. Yet again, nonfiction about what the hurdles would be to something like space settlement and whether or not we should actually do it. And just like science, law, politics, those kind of things. Very good. Where would I put it? It's gonna be somewhere in cookie dough. I feel like I should have committed to doing something separate with the nonfiction, and maybe I will at like the end of the year or something, where I'm able to just compare them to each other and not get lost in all this SFF sauce. So I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna put it above ballads, so let me just sort this out. Okay, only 3 books left. We have Soldiers and Kings, another nonfiction. This is about human smuggling, specifically up into Mexico from Honduras. Very, very sort of, I don't know how to describe this. It's going in Moose Tracks, and it's going above Glad My Mom Died. I think it's going to go, yeah, I think just right above that makes sense to me. It's a very emotionally charged nonfiction, which is not something you necessarily expect, but there it is. Then we have Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wistful. This is like about like a monster who falls in love. It was very cute. Where would I put it though? I think, yet again, it's gotta be, I'm thinking just below Empress, or above, sorry. Okay, and then the final one we have is Toward Eternity by Anton Hur. And this, oops, oh god, please stop, oh my god. Okay, it's not going in licorice. Nothing's going in licorice. Oh, what a good day for me. I think I'm gonna put it just below, no, just above Into the Riverlands. I think it just didn't quite do what it was trying to do, and it's kind of like a short, speculative type of book where it's trying to talk about like language and poetry and how that intertwines with like humanity kind of. And I feel like it didn't quite do what it set out to do, so unfortunately not my favorite, but I do think it is like worth a read if you're interested in speculative slash, yeah, I guess you could call it speculative fiction. I don't know, kind of not sci-fi specifically, but it is sci-fi, I guess. I don't know. But I think, yeah, that is everything. It always happens where the like second to highest tier gets quite filled up. And I think maybe next time I would leave out the licorice tier and make a tier between cookie dough and French vanilla. Maybe like French vanilla and then below that regular vanilla. I don't know. Just to, you know, sort it out more easily for you guys in terms of visuals. But it is relatively, I would say, representative of my actual reading, where I read a lot of stuff that I really enjoy, and then there's a smaller amount of things that are like really, really good, as well as things that are like kind of meh and things that I kind of actively dislike. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking for a long time, so I don't think we need to do a long drawn out conclusion. This is everything I've read so far this year, how it compares to the other things that I've read, and we will return to this at the end of the year, add in everything else that I've read, and we will see how my whole year shapes out. I'll probably edit this before then to include that other tier, but for now, that is all that I have for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.